common, but we'll shock you.
Tonight is Armed Forces Appreciation Night, and we're proud to honor the brave men and women who have served and continue to serve our country. A big thank you to your and sacrifice. We're excited to have you here tonight, and we hope you join the game here in this and in yours.
Kind of in disbelief, honestly. I thought we took really good at bats until we got.
And welcome to Orioles MLB. We're happy to have you here with us today. Before we kick off the show, I need to give out a few ground rules. For the comfort of the caller and all of our fans, Orioles Park is a smoke-free facility. Smoking, including use of cigarettes, is prohibited anywhere inside the gates and within 25 feet outside of the ballpark. We remind you that throughout the game, balls and bats will be playing addition, on-stage violence that turns place on the field is prohibited. Violators will be arrested and prosecuted. Here at Durbrand, we encourage you to actively chart and cheer for your team. To remind you that using threatening language or any type of hate speech directed at players, staff, umpires, or other fans will not be tolerated and will result in ejection from the ballpark. If you encounter any problems and need to inform ballpark security, you may contact your nearest usher or text the following number for assistance: 410-873-9900. Postal players' specific concerns and their state location will receive a response. Standard text messaging fees do apply. Birdland, we thank you for being the fans of baseball. Let's make a great one. And let's go Orioles.
Whether it's your first time betting or you've been gambling for years, have a plan and know the game. Be aware of the rules and odds of gambling. You can never gamble with money you can't afford to lose. Take brave breaks and consider teaming up with trusted friends to help you stick to your budget. Remember, if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services.
Okay, shop. Is that North Wilkesboro?
Did you think that this was a possibility?
One hole. Rory, can you get some fans in to give?
Happening? Yeah, 100%. Or less. Don't.
The umpires for tonight's game. At home plate, Mr. Lance Barrett. At first base, Mr. Brock Ballou. At second base, Mr. Nettie Gonzalez. And at third base, Mr. Alfonso Marquez. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the presentation of our Heavy Hitter Award. This award is given to leaders of groups of 250 or more. And tonight, we're pleased to congratulate and welcome Stylianos Caminares from Amazon. Congratulations to Stylianos, and we hope you have a wonderful night at the ballpark.
I mean, I was going to get here probably around 11 anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your
Now, are
attention
you happy with 29?
to the pitcher's mound for a special presentation.
Whatever else was going. to see how he interacts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming a very special guest to the field tonight. Belinda Cushing has been a devoted Orioles fan for over 50 years. Back when she was 13, she applied to be the team's bat boy, but was turned down because she was a girl. Tonight, at age 66, and in the midst of her fight against stage 4 lung cancer, Belinda is fulfilling a lifelong dream, joining us as our honorary Bat Girl. Belinda's passion, perseverance, and love for the Orioles embody the very best of Birdland. Fans, let's please give a warm Oriole Park welcome to honorary Bat Girl, Belinda Cushing.
This extra pregame show is brought to you in part by Tower Federal Credit Union.
The Orioles joined the city of Baltimore in mourning the loss of firefighter Charles Mudra. Charles was a 17-year veteran of the Baltimore City Fire Department and served with dedication, courage, and selflessness. His commitment to protecting others reflected the very best of our city. Please join us now in a moment of silence to honor his life, his service, and his sacrifice. Thank you. We ask that you please remain standing as we welcome Hoo-Ha Capella, who will now perform the Star Spangled Banner.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red venom bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the
Again, thank you to Hoo-Ha Capella and the rest of the brave men and women who work here in Baltimore every day. Again, our thoughts are with Charles Mudra. Upstairs, Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald.
Number 30, Jacob Young.
Mic check, mic check.
new manager, Tony Mansolino. Leading off at second base, number 7, Jackson Holiday. Batting second at first base, number 32, Ryan O'Hearn. Batting third, your shortstop, number 2, Gunnar Henderson. Batting fourth, designated hitter, number 35, Adley Rutschman. Batting fifth, in center field, number 31, Cedric
Mansolino will have the Stars at first pitch next on FS1.
Batting sixth at third base, number 29, Ramon Urias. Batting seventh in right field, number 13, Heston Kjerstad. Batting eighth in left field, number 12, Ramon Laureano. Batting ninth, your catcher, number 98, Maverick Hanley. And pitching, number 48, Kyle Gibson.
Nationals took the opener last night and feature quite the start to their lineup. C.J. Abrams, James Wood, two of the most dynamic hitters in this National League East, and they have them for Washington. Big-time players for them, and you're looking forward to seeing this lineup as you see the new manager for the Baltimore Orioles. Tony Mansolino was the third base coach, takes over. A baseball lifer, has spent a long time in the game. His father, Doug, also a part of Major League Baseball for many years, still with the Atlanta Braves, and just a baseball man taking over a tough situation for the Orioles. On the other side, Dave Martinez trying to get this Nationals team back on track. He's got a young, talented group, especially on the position players side, but after taking the Nats to a World Series and winning it in 2019, trying to get this Washington team back there. And going up against the pitcher in Kyle Gibson that's trying to find it, making his fourth start of the year. Tom, so far for Kyle Gibson, it's been a tough go.
Yeah, it's almost like he's still in spring training mode. Was signed late by the Orioles to a one-year deal. You see he's a six-pitch guy. He's going to have to mix it up, as he always does. And he's going to need defense behind him. This last time out, just 4 swings and misses against the Angels.
Well, and he's got some pretty good defensive players, especially up the middle with Jackson Holiday and Gunnar Henderson at second base and shortstop. In the outfield, Cedric Mullins, who has the ability to make some highlight plays, had one last night. Up the middle, this Baltimore team very strong. On a beautiful day, they'll have some horse racing later tonight for the Preakness, the 150th Preakness, and then coming up next month, the Belmont on Fox. But before that, some baseball. Jackson Holiday trying to protect his eyes from the sun. They dealt with some rain yesterday, and now for this Baltimore Orioles team, trying to figure out what's next after a slow start to the year. They see their manager let go this morning, and now it's about trying to figure out how to react to the tough news.
Exactly. I'm curious to see how they come out playing. They've had a problem this year falling behind early in games, and they have not come back on anybody. So if that was a wake-up call, the firing of the manager, let's see how they come out and play the first few innings of this game.
Just hard to believe this Baltimore. Here we are a week before Memorial Day, and seeing their manager Brandon Hyde let go for a team that many expected to challenge the Yankees in the American League East. This year they wake up 10.5 games back, 13 games under 500. And after losing in heartbreaking fashion last night, they'll try to even the set with the Nationals today as the first pitch by C.J. Abrams is fouled away.
Yeah, you mentioned Manzolino is known as a teacher and instructor. He's been a minor league manager. His father, major league coach, player development with the Braves for the last 7-8 years.
And going up, Kyle Gibson is now against a Nationals order that is stacked with left-handers. And both teams doing this today. We'll see Jake Irvin pitch for Washington. And the Orioles have a bunch of left-handers at the top of their lineup. Kyle Gibson has seen left-handed batters against him bat .480 through 3 games. Well, he's ahead in this count after missing 1 ball, 2 strikes. Abrams batting .305 on the year, 6 home runs, a threat on the base paths, 9 he's taken this year. 1-2. Fouled off his foot. In many ways, this is starting to become the breakout for C.J. Abrams as he continues to progress. Now 24 years old. And he and James Wood at the top, giving Nats fans a lot to be excited about. 1-2 again is a curveball missing in.
I mean, CJ's got every tool you could want. Power is developing. I mean, this is a great class of young shortstops. We got 2 of the best in the game today with Gunnar Henderson on the other side.
See the numbers for Abrams heating up lately as that's a changeup that just misses. Lance Barrett calling the balls and strikes today. Brock Below at first, Manny Gonzalez at second, Alfonso Marquez, the third base umpire this afternoon. Three-two payoff. This one is ripped for a base hit. Chasing it is Kjerstad, who catch on the rim of the track, and that speed being tested right away. He gets into second base safely. Ball gets away. And C.J. Abrams stops at second base with a lead-off double for the Nationals.
I love the energy. 3-2 changeup and was all over it. The only way you get 2 here is if you're thinking 2. Kjerstad a little bit slow getting over there. You got to know with Abrams, with his speed, it's always the potential of the extra base.
And now a runner in scoring position for James Wood, who hits the ball about as hard as anybody you'll see in baseball. At just 22 years old. First pitch swing and a miss on the curveball from Gibson. Wood 12 home runs already this season with 27 driven in. A big-time power bat in the making. 0-1. That one gets away, and now darting over to third base, safely standing up is Abrams. He's now 90 feet away from the game's first run.
Yeah, Hanley just wasn't able to square up to keep this ball from going sideways. You see the body's a little bit angled, and that ball's always going to bounce the opposite direction of spin. Now the runner gets to third base. Less than 2 outs. Infield in the first inning.
Wood, a little jam shot, pokes it through, and that's going to be an RBI hit. James Wood's 28th driven in on the season, puts the Nationals out in front 1-0, 2 batters into this game.
Number 33, Nathaniel Lowe.
He stays on the ball so well. Just fought this one off, but his power is definitely the other way. I brought that up to Davey Martinez today, because I think when he develops pull side power, he's just going to be an absolute monster at the dish. And Davey Martinez said, you know, we used to have a guy here with natural power the other way, grew into a pull hitter. That was Juan Soto. Turned out okay.
Speaking of pull side power, Nathaniel Lowe has some of that, but it does seem like the Nationals like James Wood right now, living up the middle and letting some of that pull side power come in time. And as hard as he hits the ball for Wood, a lot of ground balls, trying to, you know, get that launch angle a little higher on the average, but so far a lot of success for Wood, who again is just 22 years old. Lowe acquired from the Rangers in a trade this offseason, and that's a pitch that's low from Gibson. The count goes to 3-0 as Kyle Gibson, who has really had to fight through some trouble this year. 3 starts in, start number 4 off to a rocky start.
Yeah, listen, he needs to get guys to chase a little bit off the plate. And right now, Washington doing a really good job forcing him into the strike zone.
Sinker for strike 1. Still a hitter's count for Lowe, who's hit 8 home runs this year. And lifetime against Gibson, Lowe has had a lot of success. 4 for 8 against them, a couple of homers. And the Nationals RBI leader has a 3-1 pitch he fouls away.
Yeah, you see the fastball there at 92, and this is typically where he's sitting at 91, 92. So he does not have the kind of stuff to beat hitters in the strike zone, being behind the count. He's got to control counts, get strike 1, and work from there.
For the Nationals, getting hits with runners in scoring position on the season, they're about league average, but last 8 games coming into this one, batting under 200. They already have 1 hit. That was James Wood's RBI single. And that's going to end up being a walk to Nathaniel Lowe, so he's aboard. 3 batters up, 3 batters on for Keibert Ruiz, the cleanup man.
Catcher number 20, Keibert Ruiz.
Yeah, you saw Wood was started on that full count there, and you can do that with a guy like Gibson, who's not a swing and miss guy. It's not so much about the speed at the base, it's the fact that the ball's going to be put in play. And the Washington Nationals, that's their game anyway. They will be very aggressive on the bases.
Ruiz started the year strong, but just 1 for his last 14 as he takes a sweeper for a strike. Has really been living above a 300 batting average most of the year. Has seen it drop down just under 280. As a threat with 2 on, nobody out. Nationals already up a run. Chases at the curveball and falls behind 0-2.
Well, the Nationals hit the ball on the ground more than any team in baseball. Ruiz a big part of that. He has the highest increase in ground ball rate this year. Gibson trying to get the ball on the ground right here to try to work out of trouble.
Ruiz known for that 2-strike approach, striking out only about 10% of the time. That's among the very best in baseball. And has been good with runners on base. Has a situation here. 0-2 pitch is laced but foul. For Kyle Gibson, this Orioles team was awaiting his return. They've had so many injuries to their starting staff. Gibson was hoping to fill that void, but it has been tough going. Pitch misses in, and you know, for this Orioles team, the injuries have really mounted. They lost Grayson Rodriguez, who's been dealing with some arm trouble. He got moved to the 60-day IL earlier this month. Another one fouled off by Ruiz. Kyle Bradish, Tyler Wells, they had elbow surgeries last June. Chase McDermott, the shoulder, came back on Wednesday, but then he gives up 4 runs in 3 innings. Tyler Rogers has been dealing with injuries, trying to get back on a rehab assignment now. So the injuries have been plentiful for Baltimore as Ruiz stays alive, 1-2 still, battling with 2 strikes.
Yeah, you see how difficult it is for Kyle Gibson to get a swing and miss. But yeah, you know, listen, every team is going to have injuries. I think the issue for Baltimore is they just didn't have enough depth to start out with to withstand these injuries. The highest slugging allowed in Major League Baseball.
Ruiz hits a little flare to center, and Mullins didn't get a good beat on it. Gets over his head. That's going to bring in at least 1. And Lowe will stop at third, but another RBI hit. This one a double from Ruiz. And 23 pitches into this game, Gibson is still not yet retired at Washington National.
Well, if last night was a nightmare, the nightmare continues today. It's just an awful start. A changeup again, not a bad pitch, but it can't get that swing and miss, can't get the ground ball, and you see Mullins just completely misread this baseball.
Mullins, who had a highlight snag last night, that time took 3 big steps in, and before you knew it, over his head. Should have been an out. Garcia goes after the first pitch. It's foul. This was the play last night where Mullins went back on this one from Nasim Nunez, center field, just throwing the glove out. That was a perfect read. He got there, ends up with the scoop for the out.
Yeah, great recovery. The ball kind of twisted on him over the right shoulder. I don't know how he caught the baseball, especially that close to the wall.
0-1 misses in, borderline pitch. On a day where the Baltimore Orioles fired their manager in the morning, this top of the first inning not going much better for the O's. That's a strike.
And Mansolino now playing the infield back, which I think you have to do with nobody out. 2 runners in scoring position. You can't let this inning get too big.
1-2 pitch. That one misses low. And we saw Davey Martinez put all these lefties at the top. Abrams, Wood, Lowe, Ruiz a switch hitter, Garcia now batting from the left side. And left-handers 480 against Kyle Gibson, and that is working out so far. At least for the Nationals, as the 2-2 just misses in. Brings the count to full.
Garcia just has to put this ball in play. Even a ball on the ground here will score a run. They'll be running the contact play, second and third.
Gibson's 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. And first innings have been nightmarish for Baltimore, and it's not just in this game this afternoon. You go back last 25 games, the Orioles have been outscored 21-4 in first innings. And you look across Major League Baseball, the team that has the lead after 1 inning, about 70% of the time wins the game. 3-2 to Garcia. And that one's another base hit. That's going to score 1. Coming around is Ruiz. He will score as well. A 2-run single makes it 4-0 Nationals with no outs and the Bluebirds out in Baltimore.
Second baseman number 2, Luis Garcia Jr.
Kyle Gibson has thrown a lot of pitches with 2 strikes. Strike 3 has been elusive. He just has nothing to get the ball by these Nationals hitters. That was the sweeper right there. Garcia does a nice job putting it in play.
This is about as tough as it gets. You feel like there have been so many low points for the Orioles this season. They had a game they lost 24-2 on Easter Sunday. A week later, called a players only meeting. I mean, they're pulling out all the stops, doing what they can, but it just feels like every day there's a new rock bottom for the Baltimore Orioles.
It just seems like Kyle Gibson's stuff is just short. I mean, it talked about how he was signed late, but remember, his season began giving up 3 home runs on 5 pitches to the New York Yankees. And with Charlie Morton up in the bullpen now, and there's been more mound visits than outs obtained, that's not a good start.
1 on, nobody out. Already 4-0 Nationals for Josh Bell, who's trying to get his bat going. Batting just 150 on the year. Gibson, first pitch strike. Bell, that 150 batting average, the lowest among qualified hitters. 1-1.
Now, this is the one batter you think, if you're Gibson, you can get the ball on the ground. He hits a lot of pull side ground balls.
Gibson has not induced a double play ball this season. Again, it's only his 4th start, but if he's going to have an opportunity for one, it could be right now. Two and one. You know, for Kyle Gibson, was added late in spring training after spending some time in the offseason in St. Louis, just kind of waiting for the call. When is he going to get back in his home state of Missouri? It's reunited in Baltimore, where he had so much success a couple of years ago as Bell swings and misses. He was part of that 101-win team in the 2021 season. Very involved in the community, was the Roberto Clemente Award nominee for the Orioles that year. Good clubhouse guy, great presence, but struggling at the moment. Darting back safely is Garcia. Still nobody out. 2-2. And you look at the season for Kyle Gibson, coming into this game, opponents with a 1330 OPS against him. That's a better OPS than Aaron Judge at 1275. It's been that kind of year for Gibson. 3-2. Bell hits this one through into right field. Kjerstad picks it up. Yet another hit. Puts runners at the corners for Dylan Cruz. Trying to get to second was Bell, and he just gets in there safely on the throw. Bell, known for not exactly being the most fleet of foot, but able to scoot up 90 feet. This might be reviewed.
Yeah, they're going to play on here. It's just not a good play. We saw Mullins with the misread. We saw Kjerstad late getting to the ball that Abrams hit, and there's no way Bell should be able to get second base on this hit. Set up for the cut, and he just misses the cutoff man. It just can't happen.
Yeah, there is no play at third, and it just feels like one issue has led to another for these Orioles. As things go from bad to worse with 2 in scoring position for Cruz. I mean, Gibson's pushing 40 pitches. He's at 37, has not gotten an out in this game.
And Trent, it seems like almost a third of his pitches have been with 2 strikes, and he just can't finish off the at-bat.
Again, he gets the 2 strikes, nothing in 2. To Dylan Cruz. And against the Washington team that has been a bit slow out of the gate in games. That has not been the case in this one. 4-0 Nationals, 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Gibson's gotten to 2 strikes to all but 1 batter, but it's gotten an out. And again, a sweeper. Cruz lays off. You can just see Kyle Gibson, next pitch number 40, just trying to fight through it. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Cruz strikes out swinging. There's the first out. Some of the Camden faithful with some cheers for out number 1.
Yeah, got him on the curveball. And I don't like Cruz either, just walking back to the dugout there. First base is open there. Force at least the throw by the catcher on the drop third strike.
Yeah, and you think about Cruz, the way he plays and everything he meant for LSU and the energy he brings, a little uncharacteristic. Tana taps that first pitch foul. Has not been the most fundamental start.
Yeah, and for Kyle Gibson, it just gets more and more difficult. You mentioned, Trent, the pitch count there, 42 coming up here, and he's been in the stretch the entire time, so it's a high-stress inning.
Still just 1 out, no force play. 0-1 to Tana's low. Tana, who scored the winning run last night, coming around from second base on another play that demonstrated poor fundamentals, and that's how the Nationals won the game. Batista caught napping trying to get to first. 1-1. Another changeup low.
And again, the Nationals are so aggressive on the bases. Now the infield with 1 out comes in. I would assume again you run the contact play here. Force Baltimore to make a play on any ground ball.
Tana, the 8 hitter in this lineup, just 1 out. 2 in scoring position, 4-0 Nats. Looks at that one, miss. Now you have to think, boy, Charlie Morton has been up in the bullpen for some time. Of course, former starter that struggled himself to begin the year, got moved to this Orioles bullpen. 3-1 pitch. And this one is hit to center field. Mullins underneath it, but plenty deep enough to bring in a run. Garcia will score. That makes it 5-0 Nationals here in the first.
Center fielder number 30.
You can almost see the wear and tear on Kyle Gibson. I mean, in today's world with a pitch timer, these long innings, they're a physical grind as well as a mental grind.
It's a great point, Tom. And Jacob Young now the 9th hitter to come up for the Nationals in this first inning. Batting .215 on the year. At this point, ball to strike ratio not great. 19 balls, 27 strikes. Gibson has got ahead in counts, but you've said it. That third strike, that final out, has been tough to come by. Young hits this one into right field. That's going to get down for another hit. Gets away from Kjerstad in right, and now bounces around the wall, heading for third and sliding in safely is Young. Brings in another run for the Nationals. A triple puts Washington out in front 6-0.
Yeah, I can't imagine a worse start. You fire your manager in the morning as a message to your team that you're not going to accept being 13 under 500, playing the way they have. And once again, look at the defense here. Another misplay. That's at least 3 or 4 defensive misplays in the first inning alone of a game.
So Kyle Gibson doesn't get out of the first. 6-run score is responsible for the one at third as well in Charm City.
Ladies and gentlemen, pitching for your Baltimore Orioles, number 50, Charlie Morton.
Charlie Morton in to pitch for Baltimore. Charlie Morton in to pitch for Baltimore with 2 outs after about as tough of a start as you could have. Kyle Gibson, 47 pitches. The most he's ever thrown in his 1,878 inning career. Now Morton, who enters with an 0-7 record, facing the top of this national order. It's Abrams. Morton gets ahead, 0-2.
It's been a rough season for Charlie Morton. You can see there that 0-7 record, lost his spot in the rotation. It's always been about his curveball. If he can land that, then everything else works off it.
Second oldest pitcher in Major League Baseball comes in, gets the strikeout, but a 6-run first for the Nationals. Home half coming up.
Street family.